sit. Come through the hoop. Good, sit. Come through the hoop. Good, sit.
Hi, I'm Deron, Marna's cameraman. Today, she's asked me to come up in front of the camera and show you how to make a simple little hoop for your small dog using recycled materials. This is reused materials. This is some wire that came down in the back of the house. It needs to go in the landfill. You can see here I've got some pieces of it. It's a little dirty, but not too bad. This particular wire is galvanized, so it won't rust, but it does have some dirt on it. She would like a hoop about 14 inches in diameter. She said she wanted it to have about 4 bundles of this wire here. And so this is about the thickness it'll have, and we'll wrap this up here in a little bit once we get going. But the first thing I need to do is take and clean it up a little bit. You'll see here, for example, there's some black spots here, and I'm just taking some wipes. You could use a washcloth or anything else. And this wire is just something I happen to have available. Anything would work. Wire just has a certain amount of stiffness to it, so you don't need as much. A thin rope would be difficult to use. This, however, we should keep its form, and we'll find out together, because I haven't tried this. Just going to sit here and kind of clean it up. You can see my wipe has already gotten quite disgusting. The washcloth might have been better, but this is what we use. And we're just going to go through and kind of clean up the spots. Look for any dark spots that need to be cleaned up. But if your wire's clean, you don't have to do this. And we are going to cover it eventually, I believe is the plan. Alright, so now we've got this all cleaned up and we're ready to try and spin this into a hoop. Now, one thing that I should bring up, you don't have to do this out of wire. You might find something that's a hoop already made. A crochet hoop or something of that nature might work just fine for you, but we don't have one. We do have this extra wire, and this is what we're going to do. So here we are. Here you can see I basically have 2 and a little more passes around. She wanted 4. We're just going to kind of keep working this into her 4 passes. Now, if you want to know how much wire you want to use, this is where your math comes in. You know those things that you talk about, I am never going to need this. Well, in this case, pi, and I don't mean the kind you eat, but the number pi is your friend. If you know the diameter you're looking for, in this case 14 inches, and you know how many passes around you want, in this case 4, you take your diameter, that's the measurement across, 14 inches, multiply it by the number of times around you want, 4, times pi, 3.14. And that'll give you how long of a piece of wire you're going to want to have. Now, I actually added a little bit to this and then added a couple of feet on top of there. Easier to cut it, and it's scrap wire anyway, than to end up short. So in this case here now, I just need to kind of adjust the hoops, the passes to make them more or less the same. And like I said, I can overlap a little extra and cut off anything I don't want. Loop here somewhere. It's not quite. You can see I'm just going to keep working it. It's getting closer to the final diameter. And so once you've got the diameter you're looking for here, you can start. Now what I would recommend actually is to start on the odd end, and you say away from the side away from your ends. And the reason being is that if we start taping this here and we work around, you can still kind of adjust the levels a little bit. It still is going to have to slide in the inside, so maybe that won't make any difference. But do this. And in fact, I'm not going to do it that way. Okay. And so this is about the hoop we're going to go with here. So we're going to go ahead and throw some tape on it, just to kind of hold it in place. This is just a roll of duct tape, which is actually duct tape, and colored because my wife wanted something pretty. Anybody who's watched any of Marna's videos know, pretty counts. And I've just got a little bit here just to kind of hold it together and start deciding how close we're going to be here. Okay, now what I found out right away is that the best way to get these even is to tape your two ends together, but don't tape the rest of the strands, so they can slide around and you can kind of get it adjusted here. And hopefully I have it pretty well adjusted. If it's not perfect, well, that's all right. A few things in life are. It will still function. Now we're going to do is just going to sit here and do a very monotonous, boring thing. And that is I'm going to tape it all with this pretty tape and make a mess. And just kind of go round and round. And you can hold on to the roll. You can use that to stretch the tape and keep it tight. And so now I'm just going to go around, kind of overlapping about a half of the width of the tape each pass, and just go all the way around. Now this is, in particular case, we came up with 14 inches because it's for my wife's Yorkshire Terrier puppy, Katy. So if you wanted a bigger hoop for a bigger dog or a smaller hoop for a mouse or rat, it wouldn't matter, you could do that. Okay, now I'm just going to sit here and go around and we won't bore you with those details. Okay, so you can see here we're coming in on the end here. Now as I kept getting it tight as I went along, the slack or the difference between the different diameters created a bit of a hump here in the middle, which I expected. There wasn't much you can do about that, but that also makes for a handy little handhold area. And we're going to put a extra row of tape here. Try and keep the sticky side in. Nobody wants a handful of sticky. And just finish it up here. There you go. If you wanted to get fancy, you could get a different color tape out and do your handle area with that other colored tape. So now here you go. You've got your 14-inch tape hoop ready for action.
Sit. Come through the hoop. Good. Sit. Come through the hoop. Good. Sit. Good. Katy through the hoop. Good. Sit. Good. Through the hoop. Good. Sit. No, oh, good. Good. Sit. Sit.
Thank you for watching. I hope you've, well, figured out a new project for you, something to use with some of that scrap wire you've got out back or in the basement that you just don't know what to do with, and maybe you find some because you need it for a hoop to train your animal. I hope you enjoyed watching Katy and her little adventures in the hoop, and check back again, like and subscribe. Thank you.
Play piano. Good. A good girl. Play piano. Good. Play piano. Good. Good girl.